When you're looking for an SUV today, you have around two options. Well, you can either go for the crossover route, which is a little bit lower, a little bit less practical, usually just a 5-seater. Or you can also go for those more uncomfy and more matagtag big PPV SUVs like the Fortuner Montero and the Ford Everest. So throw in the MUX in there as well. But what if you want to get the best of both worlds and you don't want to have to decide pretty hard? You can try out this car right here. This is the 2022 Nissan Terra VL 4x2. Today I'm going to show you around this car and I'm also going to give it a test drive, so stay tuned. The Nissan Terra has been in the game for quite some time now here in the Philippines, but with this all-new redesign, although it is just a facelift, honestly it looks like a completely different car. It is just so much better looking now. You look at the hood, you got these two mounts on either side, and these lines do converge towards the V-Motion grille, which is now a full V-Motion grille, unlike the previous one which was kind of half-baked. This one is more reminiscent of a Nissan Patrol, and I really enjoy how there are these piano black and chrome on it as well, with a huge Nissan badge towards the center. Quad LED headlights on it with DRLs, and even your fog lights are also LEDs. Then you even enjoy these front sensors towards the bumper. Compared to the rest of the competition, the Nissan Terra on the side goes for a more sleek look rather than a macho look. There is minimal use of chrome over here except for the door handles and this trim over here, but that trim, although it is a fake vent, it is rather reminiscent of a Nissan Patrol, which makes it look a lot more premium. The fenders on this one, they are kind of flared, and I love how there is this sloping and swooping line towards the side, which gives it a very wide stance towards the rear, or at least the look of it. Then you also get redesigned 18-inch rims, which looks way better than before. Step board and a painted silver roof rail up top, plus you also get turn signals on your side mirrors. Towards the back, the Nissan Terra does get a redesign as well. It now looks more similar to the newer Lexus cars, with the Terra badge spelled out for you without any chrome piece or plastic trim over here. There is this new chrome trim up top though, which is a hit or miss. For some people you might like it. Personally, at first I didn't like it, but it's kind of growing on me right now. You get a shark's fin antenna up top, this mini spoiler, then you also get this camera over here. I'll get to that later. Then your bumper also get rear reverse sensors, reverse camera, and a diffuser. Now, if you open up the tailgate, unfortunately, you do not get a power tailgate, but that is fine because that's one less thing that could break. And right here, if you have the seats up, the third row seats, yes, storage space is a little bit limited, but you can always fold those down. You also get this false floor over here. Under the hood of the Nissan Terra is this 2.5-liter inline-4 diesel engine, making 190 horsepower and 450 Newton meters of torque. Now, it is worth noting that although this is only a 2.5-liter, it has the exact same output as the Isuzu MUX's 3-liter engine. This has also made it to a 7-speed automatic transmission. Inside the interior, check the door thud. Sounds alright. Start the car, get push button start, but there seems to be a little bit of a delay after you press it. The instrument cluster does sweep, and it gives you this really nice Nissan design towards the middle as well. And there is a center screen, but the even better part over here is the center 9-inch touchscreen, which is incredibly responsive, and it even comes with wireless Apple CarPlay but wired Android Auto. Your steering wheel, it is leather wrapped, multifunction. Unfortunately, it only tilts, it doesn't telescope. Kind of sad. Materials up top and on the side, they're not exactly the best. They are hard touch plastic, but Nissan does give you this red padded interior trim towards the middle, which is a huge step up from the previous model. The seats, they have this diamond pattern, very comfortable as well, zero gravity seats as Nissan would call it, and it is power adjustable for the driver's side with lumbar support, but only manually adjustable for the passenger. Towards the center, this is your dual zone climate control. Is it cold? Is it Nissan cold? Absolutely so. It is really cold. You get a USB-C port, normal USB-A port, a wireless charging pad, then you also get 2 cup holders. Towards the center, your gear selector, yeah, it's not exactly the most high quality feeling, but it does have manual mode and it does serve its purpose. Then you have an electronic parking brake, but towards the sides, there are these 2 switches. What do they do? So if you pull them, the second row seats actually electrically tumble, which is crazy. I've never seen that in any other car. You get more jug holders on the side. And this center cubby is also pretty big. What's cool about the Terra though, is that in a lot of cars, if you have people in the second row and on the third row, you pretty much can't use your rear view mirror. But for the Terra, they have what you call your intelligent rear view monitor. So if you just flip the switch, you get a camera on the back, which is the same camera I showed you just below the rear spoiler. And you can even adjust it, rotate it, adjust the brightness, and all that. It is really pretty cool. In terms of features, you get intelligent autonomous braking, forward collision warning, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and a hill start assist. Now this car also comes with 6 speakers, but if you want the Bose 8-speaker sound system, you do have to upgrade to the VL 4x4 trim. Kind of a bummer for that one. You get 6 airbags as well and ISOFIX headers at the back. The rear of the Terra, we checked the door thud. It's not the best, but it's about alright. And when you're back, your amenities are plentiful. You get your own map pocket, your own armrest with 2 cup holders. You even get your air vents here on the center, plus up top, and even a USB-C port, a USB-A port, and even this 11-inch screen towards the middle. What I don't like about it though is that it has the same thing that the first generation PPVs have. Kind of sit a bit too high, including the floor. It is also a bit too high. So if you look at my head, although headroom is about okay if you're not the tallest, look where my head is right here. It is way past the frame of the door. So it does feel a little bit weird, but apparently some people do like it. I don't know. And if you want to see 3 people, yes, while you can do it and the floor is flat, the problem is that these seatbelt buckles, they kind of do hit your butt. So it's not the most comfortable, and I don't get why Nissan didn't even give you a center headrest. I mean, come on, Nissan. When you're at the 3rd row, it's not a pleasant experience because legroom is really limited and the floor is really quite high. So you really do have to sit like this, which isn't the most comfortable, but at least you do get your own air vents up top. And width-wise, it is actually not bad, but this is still best reserved for children. You even have an HDMI port here, which does link up to that 11-inch screen in the middle, and you also have a USB port. What you can do here though, which is pretty cool, is if we just hit that switch in the front, this one just folds down like that. So what you can do is just stretch out back here and watch in that 11-inch screen. So now driving the 2022 Nissan Terra VL 4x2. You know, this car really shines here inside the city because right now we're driving on EDSA, and EDSA isn't really known for the best road conditions out there. And over here, compared to its competitors, it just is a much better drive. There is pretty much no tag-tag in this car. When you compare this to the likes of the Ford Everest, yeah, maybe yes. And VH-wise, the noise, it doesn't suppress noise as great, but when it comes to like vibrations and harshness, this thing is just so much better. This is absolutely the best in its class if you're looking for that car with zero tag-tag. Engine-wise, the Nissan Terra's 2.5 liter, it is pretty powerful, and the 7-speed transmission can do a great job of picking the right gear for you. It never really hunts, but you do have to keep in mind one thing. It has a tendency to hold its gears a bit too long if you floor it. So if you really want to hustle this car, don't mash the throttle all the way, but really the pull of this car, it is pretty good. And if you compare this to the pre-facelift generation, it feels like a completely different car because the previous generation, it was really loud, it was high on vibrations, but this one pretty much eliminated. Really, this car feels more like an FMC, a full model change, than a typical facelift MMC. It feels like a completely different and much improved car. One thing that is kind of odd with the Nissan Terra is its steering. Yes, it does feel really light, but it feels so disconnected to the road and you don't really know what the front tires are doing. So yeah, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. If you want something a bit more precise, you should probably go for the likes of the Mitsubishi Montero or the Toyota Fortuner. But if you really enjoyed the likes of the steering of the MUX and also the Ford Everest, then you will feel very much at home and welcoming of the steering feel of the Nissan Terra. Visibility wise, it is quite good, and there is also that intelligent rear view mirror, and honestly, it's a bit gimmicky. It is pretty cool, but if you do use it, you're gonna feel that it gives you a really odd view of the road behind you. So most often I would still keep it with the regular mirror mode. Another weird thing about the Nissan Terra is the hood, because it is a bit too long, but also there's like 2 mountains on the side with a recess towards the middle. So at first, when you're driving this, you're gonna feel that the hood is a little bit too long, but as you get used to it, honestly, it's not that bad. Fuel economy in the city, you'll return around 7.5 to 7.8 kilometers per liter, but when you get on over to the highway, that goes up all the way to 16.6 kilometers per liter. On the highway, the Nissan Terra is just as good as it is in the city because it still is incredibly comfortable, even though the road sometimes on the highway with those expansion joints are apparent in most cars. You won't really feel it with this one. It's incredibly stable as well. The steering does tighten up a little bit as well, but still, again, it's not that direct. What I don't like about it though is that wind noise and tire noise could be a little bit apparent, especially if you go towards the 100 speed limit. But if you stay just about at 100 or just below that, you will still feel very much okay with the Nissan Terra. The seats are great though, and for longer journeys, these seats are perfect. They really do spread your weight all around it, so that way you won't get any butt pains or back pains. At the 1.999 million pesos, or let's just say it's 2 million pesos, the value proposition of this car is absolutely great. If you're considering one of these cars, then head on over to your nearest Nissan dealership and pick one up for yourselves, and I can assure you that you will be incredibly happy with all the features and the riding comfort that the Nissan Terra VL 4x2 can provide you.